I never thought I'd see the day when my own flesh and blood would betray me. My name is Arthur Bennett, a 68-year-old retired engineer. I spent my entire life working hard, often missing holidays, birthdays, and anniversaries to provide a good life for my family. My wife, Eleanor, passed away 5 years ago, and since then, my only real joy has been my son, David, his wife, Rachel, and their 2 kids. I loved them more than anything. So, when David mentioned they were planning a family vacation to Italy, I immediately offered to pay. He hesitated at first, saying, "Dad, that's too much," but I insisted. I told him, "Money comes and goes, son, but family moments, they're priceless." Over the next few weeks, I booked the flights, the hotels, even a private villa near Lake Como. I was so excited, like a child again. I imagined walking through the cobblestone streets with my grandchildren, eating gelato under the Italian sun, and finally feeling part of something after years of loneliness. But then, things changed. A week before the trip, David called. His voice was distant. "Dad, listen," he said. "Rachel and I were talking, and we think it might be better if it's just the 4 of us this time. You know, a chance for the kids to bond with us." My heart sank. I tried to hide the pain in my voice. "Oh, I see. Just the 4 of you," he said. "You understand, right? It's just a family dynamic thing." Family dynamic? I was his family. I could barely breathe as I hung up. I sat there staring at the confirmation emails for the bookings, my name on every single receipt. Every hotel, every flight, every tour. I paid for everything, and yet I wasn't invited. But I didn't argue. I simply said, "Of course, son. Have a wonderful time." The day they left, I stood by the window, watching their car pull away. My house was silent, so silent I could hear my heartbeat echo through the halls. I thought about Eleanor. She'd have been so disappointed in him. Then something inside me changed. Call it anger, call it heartbreak, but it was something dark, something cold. If they could betray me after everything I'd done, they needed to learn what it meant to take advantage of someone's love. So, I began my plan for revenge. While they were gone, I contacted the travel agency. Since everything was booked under my name, I had full control over the payments. I politely informed them that due to unexpected fraud, I wanted to cancel all bookings and request a chargeback through my bank. At first, they said it was too late. The family was already checked in. But I had an ace up my sleeve. The villa booking had a payment authorization hold, and the agency's policy required my digital signature on the final confirmation. Since I hadn't given it yet, the payment was frozen. So, I revoked authorization. The next day, I received an email confirming all pending reservations had been canceled and payments refunded to the original card, my card. In short, they were in Italy, but their stay wasn't paid for anymore. 2 days later, I got the call. It was David. His voice was panicked, furious. "Dad!" "What the hell did you do?" "The villa kicked us out. The hotel says the payment was canceled. We're stranded here." I calmly replied, "Oh, really? That's strange. Maybe there's a glitch with the bank." "You know how these things go," he shouted. "We had to pay again out of pocket. You said you'd handle everything." I paused. Then I said softly, "David, you told me this trip was just for your family." I didn't want to interfere, so I decided to stay out of it completely. Silence. Long, awkward silence. Then he hung up. When they finally came back, I didn't say a word. But I noticed how their attitudes had shifted. The grandkids barely smiled, and Rachel looked like she wanted to disappear. A few weeks later, I invited them for dinner. I cooked Eleanor's old roast recipe, the one David always loved as a child. As we ate, I quietly slid a small envelope across the table. He looked suspicious, but opened it anyway. Inside was a copy of my new will. I said, "You remember that villa you didn't want me to come to? Well, I realized something during your trip. Family isn't about blood, it's about respect. So, I've decided to donate most of my estate to a children's charity Eleanor used to support." David froze. "Dad, what are you saying?" I smiled. "You didn't take me on your family vacation, even though I paid for everything. So when I'm gone, don't expect to take anything from me because I've already paid for that too." He looked like he wanted to protest, but there was nothing to say. He knew what he'd done. That night, After they left, I sat by Eleanor's photo and whispered, "They finally learned, my love. You can't buy love with money, but you can make them pay for taking it for granted." I felt peace for the first time in years. Never betray the hands that built your world, because sometimes quiet hearts plan the loudest revenge.